This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Every time, absolutely every time I hit the wrong button. Crazy. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast, aka the podcast where I can never hit the right buttons. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and Jay Carguth just tweeted me Winnipeg or Manitoba. Is it Manitoba or Winnipeg or whatever? You guys are terrible. Anyway, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me as always and making fun of me, trying to make me screw up. I don't need your help, Jared. I do it perfectly well on my own. Jared Schultz. Jared, thanks for joining me yet again, man. How you been?
I'm doing all right. Wow, that was loud.
I was going to say, I immediately went to go turn you down.
I appreciate that. That was loud. I appreciate that Jay Carguth went and did it in a different method so that it actually, like, dinged you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it popped up on my phone and my screen. Oh, Jay Carguth. Oh, Jay Carguth.
All right, cool. No, I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Lloyd?
I'm doing really good. Just finished the Nintendo Pulse podcast, so we're up to the ToG now. The best part of today's Nintendo Pulse is I talked for about 25 minutes about my new Retron game console. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's a console that connects to your modern televisions through HDMI, and it has cartridge slots for Famicom, Nintendo NES, Super Nintendo, the SNES, Mega Drive, and Sega Genesis. Plus, it has a slot on the front for original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. It has cartridge ports on the side, so you can put original controllers rather. So it has controller ports on the side, not cartridge ports on the side, for original controllers, and you could play games with controllers that they weren't designed for. So you could play NES games with a Super Nintendo controller. I've been breaking out all my old cartridges, been playing lots of retro fun stuff, and I talked about it for 25 minutes on the Nintendo Pulse podcast. If you want to know more about the Retron and it sounds like something you'd be interested in, head on over to vgpodcast.com. I did a full unboxing and first gameplay session. It was about 20 minutes or so. I think it was around 18 minutes. Tell you all that you need to know about the Retron, but I love the hell of that little system. So that's why Nintendo Pulse was so much fun for me today. Not that
this is an iOS podcast.
Not that this won't be fun, Jared.
Why am I echoing?
But do you have Twitch open?
I definitely don't.
Oh, weird. I don't know. Is it still echoing?
I'm worried to talk because then it echoes on me.
Still doing it?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's get right into the show and not talk about echo. Jared, what have you been playing on iOS?
So a couple of games I talked about last week, so I'll go over them kind of quick. Star Realms, that little quick deck building card game that has a cool app implementation. Still been playing quite a bit of that. Played a lot of matches of it. It's fun and I like it. And it's structured well so that you can play it for free. And if you decide you like it, you can pay them $5 and unlock everything. So that one's cool.
Nice.
The next one, Clark, I was kind of telling you about it. It's kind of where you're the cute little robot.
Yep.
The one-hit game one of the 2-hit games on Ouya.
The Ouya special.
What's that?
The Ouya special.
Yeah, which is no longer special for Ouya, which means that Ouya doesn't have much anymore. But yeah, it's kind of the Sokoban push block around. Still been playing that, working through a few more levels. I'm well over halfway now. I'm still really enjoying it. It seems like the puzzles are pretty inventive, and they just, for whatever reason, they are done just right so that sometimes you're frustrated with them for a bit, and then you get that just feeling of like, I'm so smart. Then I've been playing another game called Micromon that I talked about last week. This is a Pokemon clone completely. There's a whole ton of things that are like Pokemon. You get your Micromon and they evolve. There's a few things that are a little different. Healing places are not as readily available as they are in Pokemon, which is kind of a little bit of a pain at first. And additionally, the levels kind of go up really fast, which means that you have to kind of stick in the first little areas and level your guys up a lot. And there's also a very high variety of Micromon in each area, which
Right.
is good and bad. It's good because things don't get boring. It's bad because you it means that if you're looking for a specific one, it's difficult to find. So if you are playing this game, they went and did like a whole for lack of better word, a Pokédex,
Right.
a Micromon Dex.
Microdexamon.
Yeah, on Pocket Gamer. And they go and list all of them and say where you can find them all. So if you're interested in the game, I think I'm just about done with the game. For some reason, maybe it's the style of game doesn't appeal to me, but maybe I'm just a Pokemon purist. Like, give me my Pokemon, don't give me cheap knockoffs of my Pokemon. I mean, I play all of them. I play lots of Pokemon, so it's not a big deal. And I just prefer playing real Pokemon. It just feels like it's more balanced and more polished and everything else. And if it doesn't have that polish, then I'm not super enjoying it. I've gotten knocked out a few times after like maybe 2 battles. I'll be running around and trying to make it to the next place, and I'm like level 5, and all of a sudden like I get attacked by a trainer with like level 11s and 12s, and they just work me over. Like,
Sure.
Happens, and it's just a few things like that don't feel quite right. It's okay though. I mean, at 99 cents, it's a cool, interesting little adventure that you can spend some time on. Just, I think this is going to sound dumb, but I think my standards are going up with gaming because I feel like I get so little gaming time right now that if it's
Right.
not really good, I don't want to play it because,
That makes sense.
with the new baby and everything, I have no gaming time now. And so I only want to, when I have that hour or 2 a week, I want to play games I'm loving, not just ones that I'm kind of lukewarm on.
Right.
Next one I'm playing is a game called Nightmare Cooperative. This one actually just came out last night. And it came out on Steam a while ago, a month or two. And it's kind of like really crappy pixely graphics, where I know I shouldn't say that after you just talking about your Retron, but so the game it's kind of one of those like one swipe games. Like you swipe up, down, left, or right to move your character around a little map. You try to collect as much gold as possible, and you compete against other people to get as much gold. Little bad guys will spawn on the screen, and you can basically run into them, and that's how you can kill them. And you can collect different adventures. However, if you collect multiple adventures, like when you swipe up, all of them will move up, which is a little difficult to wrap your head around at times, especially as more bad guys start to populate the screen. Additionally, you'll pick up potions that allow you to do each guy's super move based on how many potions you have, and you'll also pick up hearts for them, so that'll allow them to be attacked by bad guys and still live. So it's really simple. It feels very puzzly. It's brutally difficult, but it's an interesting concept, and it looks kind of cool. I think it's $4 on the App Store if I remember right. And I mean, if it's that type of game, I'm not sure. I can't really think of something that I've played that's been like it. I mean, Hoplite, when that came out early this year, that was kind of similar because you're on those dungeons that were kind of puzzly. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a look. I can't give it a wholehearted recommendation yet. Then I've been playing a game called, this one has also just come out this week, I think, and it's called Little Raiders Robin's Revenge. So Robin in this case is Robin Hood, and you live in a tree that's magically enchanted, and you slowly grow your tree over time with acorns that somehow make your tree go taller, which is weird because I always thought acorns made new trees. And then you slowly, like as your tree grows, you build little like tree houses, and you put your little archers in there and your warriors in there, and you can go and you take them out on little expeditions, raiding expeditions, you know, because you're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. And you do that a few times and you level up. It is a freemium game, so when your guys get hurt, they then have to wait a period of time before you can use them again. However, it's not. That sounds terrible, but it's really not, because at any time you can feed them food, and whenever you feed them food, they recover HP immediately. So you can play several battles in a row just by using the food that you have.
Sure.
So it doesn't really stop you so much. I'm still fairly early in this. I think I'm level 6 or 7. So it's right now it's my fun little freemium game to go to and play a round or two. You know, when I just have a minute or two, I'll go and do like a raid to get more silver, or a raid to get more wood, which is the building supplies. Right. And then you get little guys, and I think you can get a little army of like 12 guys eventually, because you can have 3 different heroes, and each hero can have 3 apprentices. So I guess that's 4 of each. So then you could have like 4 archers and 4 warriors and 4 other guys. And the control scheme is really cool, because all you do is you kind of touch where they want to go, and like you control all your archers at once, because you touch your Robin Hood guy and it selects all your archers, and you can tell them to go after this way. And so if you do want to do a more tricky maneuver, you can do that. It's surprisingly good so far. Like I said, it's still early, and I know that there's been a few games lately that I've liked initially and then not liked so much. So one of them will be reviewed today. And then, spoiler. And then the last game that I was going to talk about was one that you actually talked about last time.
Right.
And you had said that you'd played a little bit of it. I played some more of it, and it's really good. It's Traps and Gemstones.
Yeah, from Donut Games.
From Donut Games. It feels a little more like gamer game than anything else that Donut Games has put out.
Sure.
Because it is a classic Metroidvania where you'll come up against obstacles that you can't beat, and then all of a sudden you'll unlock some new part, and in that new you unlock a whip, and then you'll be able to get past the bad guys or things like that. And it actually is surprisingly fun. I'm really digging this game. I'm not super far in it again, but it has some cool social integration. Whenever you die, and you die really easily, you die by like taking 1 hit. You lose all your money, but you start at the same spot. And then it keeps track of basically who's going the longest without dying, and by who has the highest money. And you can go back to previously visited areas and go and recollect that money if you'd like, in order to try and work on that high score if that's something that interests you. It's pretty cool. I'm really digging it. I think I'm going to get a lot of play out of it. It's moved into the way I have my iPod designed is I always have, my main folder of stuff, and then the 3 games that I'm trying to focus on to play through right now. And I liked it enough that it's now in that bottom 3 that I'm working on and focusing on right now. So.
Interesting. That's cool. I played a little bit of it. I haven't gotten too far into it after my last play. Something about the game, like I don't know what it was, but the whole how you go to areas and things get respawned, and you don't really have a guide of where you have to go. Just kind of made it annoying for me, so I never really played too much more. But I really do want to get back into it, because I love those style of games. The Metroidvania stuff is really awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. I feel like the controls are pretty good on it. It doesn't really hold your hand, so there's sometimes where you just have to figure stuff out. Like I know I got the whip, and I was like, how do I use the whip? And then I'm like, oh wait, hey, another button appeared, and I pushed it, and sure enough, my whip went.
Yeah, that's cool.
Good stuff like that. So far I'm actually really digging it. So
nice. One other thing, back to Little Raiders Robin's Revenge, that I wanted to mention. It's actually an Ubisoft game, which is kind of funny. It's being published by Ubisoft. It was worked on by Future Games of London. So all well-known names. So that's pretty interesting. I've downloaded it as well, but I haven't played it. When I read some of the stuff about it, how it's like really timer-based, if you are eager to keep playing, made me sort of not want to play it. But I think I'm gonna jump on and have a game with it. It looks really good.
Just seeing what Ubisoft is doing. Yeah, and I mean, if this is a good weekend to watch sales, because it is Labor Day weekend in the US, so lots of games will probably be going on sale today and tomorrow, so watch for that. On a completely different note, that is. I ended up downloading Hitman Go because it went on sale really cheap.
Yeah, it was like $2 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And Terry Kavanagh's VVVVVVVV, whatever that game is, also dropped down to 99 cents for the first time ever. So there's been some really good sales lately as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. What have you been playing, Lloyd?
I've been playing a little bit. I'm still playing Star Wars Commander here and there. It's not my kind of game, but I am playing it because it is Star Wars. A bunch of people over at DisneyInfinity.tv are playing a lot of it, and we've even created a VG Pod clan. So if you want to play with other listeners to the Net Podcast Network, just request something. I don't even know what it's called in the game, but request access to the VG Pod clan, just VGPOD, and you can come play with us. Having a lot of fun with it. I don't really get the whole Clash of Clans thing. I don't understand the strategy yet because I've never played it. So every battle that happens, I don't do so well, and every battle that I try to have, I don't do so well. So I'm missing something fundamental, but I'm still playing it here and there, collecting my money, waiting for the push notification that there's more money to go collect so I can go collect it. That tends to be what I'm doing with this game right now, and doing build outs whenever I can as well.
Do you have to decide if you're like light side or dark side?
Yeah, you choose Rebels or Empire.
And which does our clan have to be all one, or can we mix it up?
I don't know how that works. I'm Rebel. I think everybody else that I'm playing with is Rebel as well, but you could maybe be Empire and try that. It's pretty cool. They tempt you to go to one or the other. They tempt you to go to Rebel by giving you access to Han Solo and Chewbacca, and then they tempt you to go to the dark side by giving you an AT-ST. And it's like, I really want more AT-STs, less Chewbacca, but I kind of like the Rebels better, so yeah, I chose that.
I need to go join and just be the Empire, just so
just so you can be that guy.
So I can be that guy, because it sounds like, well, I mean, that's something I wonder about, is if, alliances all need to be the same affiliation.
Yeah, I'm unsure. We'll have to look into that for sure. Try to join and see what happens. I've also been playing, besides that, I just picked this up today, Doctor Who Legacy. It's a match 3 puzzler, Candy Crush-ish. No, it's more like, I guess, Marvel Puzzle Quest, where you level up and things like that. I had never played it. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. I've never watched Doctor Who. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm starting to watch Doctor Who. We've decided, my wife and myself decided to start watching some of them just to see what it's all about. So I kind of understand some of the stuff now, which is interesting. But the only reason why I knew that Doctor Who Legacy is a thing is because I joined Loot Crate this month, or well, I did last month, but in Loot Crate this month, you actually got a digital download for, well, it's a free game, but you got a code to unlock all sorts of content for free as part of the Loot Crate this month, along with like the Groot bobblehead and some other fun things that came with it. So I've been checking it out, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. Marvel Puzzle Quest was not something that I played a lot of, and didn't really like it too much. But yeah, I'm I'm playing Doctor Who. You have a little visitor in your house. Some random dudes walking by the way. Just in case someone broke into your house, Jared. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, no, that's my brother-in-law that decided to pass by the camera.
That's funny. And besides Doctor Who Legacy, I'm also been playing a game that I'm going to review later. Auction Hunter Storage Collector Wars.
So I have to correct you on Doctor Who Legacy.
Sure.
It is not Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Oh, it isn't?
It's Puzzles and Dragons.
Puzzles and Dragons. Okay, well, there you go. Another game I didn't play.
Yes, well, I played extensively Marvel Puzzle Quest, and I know it's not that.
Oh, it isn't? So you don't level up characters in Marvel Puzzle Quest?
No, you do.
Oh.
But it's different.
Okay. I'll take your matching 3 of the same color things knowledge, your vast knowledge in that specific genre to heart, Jared.
It's kind of my specialty. That's what I do best. In fact, I have it on my resume.
You have a business card, a chief color matcher?
Yep.
Awesome. I like that. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into the rest of the show. Let's jump right into notable releases. The biggest one this week really is the release of a kind of a AAA game, and that is BioShock. Has come out this week. It's $15 on the App Store, and you can play it on a whole bunch of different devices. Not every device, but a lot. In fact, the first part of the description is a huge disclaimer. Note, compatible with iPad Air, iPad Mini 2, iPad 4, iPad 5S, iPhone 5S, iPhone 5C, and iPhone 5. Will not run on earlier devices, including the iPad 3, iPad 2, and iPad 1. So all my hopes to buy it and play it, because initially it said it was going to work on the iPad 3, I cannot do that because that is what I have. So I'm a little bit sad about that. But it's been getting some great reviews. A lot of people are saying that it's like playing the PlayStation 3 version on a device in front of you. So I'm eager to check it out at some point in the future if I ever get a device that will run it. If I ever get like an iPad Mini 2, maybe that'll be the thing.
Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant because I think you can often find the original BioShock like this for like $3.
I own the original BioShock, so I can find it for behind me. But it's more just the playing it on the iPad thing that I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll buy it if it goes on sale for a really cheap price, and then not be able to play it until I get a new device.
Stockpiling games for when you get a new device.
I'm not sure
that's a wise strategy.
I don't have enough to play, so apparently I need more.
Okay.
Not the case at all. All right, let's move on to news. On the 9th of September, Apple has announced that they're holding a new event. The event is rumored to be a couple new iPhone announcements. And besides a couple new iPhones, it's also rumored that it is going to be a iPhone Watch event as well. So there's going to be a heck of a lot of news coming out on September 9th. The invite says we wish we could tell you more, I believe is what it said. We wish we could say more is what it was. So people are saying, what could that mean? Does the watch have Siri on it? Is there something to do with saying things? Can you talk more readily to your phone? So there's all the conspiracy theorists come out whenever Apple releases one of these invites. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know, just in case you're in the market to buy a new phone, you might want to hold off till the middle of September, because you could probably pop in and get the new phone, whatever, if it's an iPhone 6 or iPhone 12. I don't know what it's going to be. It's probably going to be iPhone 6 though. You can get one probably in the middle of the month. So hold off on those purchases until then.
Because even if you're going to purchase an old one, you'll probably be able to get a better discount on it in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, if you want the iPhone 5C and you don't, or 5S rather, and that's all you want, you'll probably be able to get it for free with contract after this event, where right now you're still paying your $200 for it. Yeah,
so pay attention. Or the other way to look at it is go get your quotes on getting your device sold to resellers. Through the different companies like Gazelle or something. They'll give you a quote that's good for a month.
Yeah, exactly. Gazelle's a really great service for that. You can lock in your bids and just get all the money ever, which is a really good thing. Cool. So stay tuned for more news on that as the event happens. A couple of interesting news articles came out that I wanted to touch on. This week, it was announced that Heroes of Order and Chaos, which is a MOBA from Gameloft, is a new version's coming out. Actually, it's out now. And it is coming with a new feature of Twitch support. So you can basically log right into your Twitch account from within the game, and you can stream your MOBA playing with Hero of Order and Chaos from Gameloft, and it even has a watch live broadcast button. So if you want to learn how other people are playing it, you click it, and it filters out all of the streams to just that game, and you can watch that from within the game as well. Kind of cool. I always love doing Twitch. I mean, this show is on Twitch. We stream a lot of stuff on Twitch. It's really cool to see iPhone and iPad developers starting to include that support into their apps. So far, there's only 2 apps, the other one being another Gameloft game, which is Asphalt 8. So hopefully other developers start putting that stuff in as well.
Another interesting thing on this particular game is they just recently dropped the monthly payment. So it used to be that you would have to pay like $5 to play for 6 months, or you'd have to pay. It
was for the MOBA as well, because that was that was Order and Chaos, their MMO, but they had a monthly fee for Heroes as well.
Oh, because this is the MOBA. You're right. I think it was just for the MMO. They dropped the price on the MMO though.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that has nothing to do with the story. That's awesome.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on. So if you want to watch Twitch and you want to watch a MOBA being played on an iPad, check out Twitch or check out Heroes of Order and Chaos. Next up, just a really quick note. This is pretty cool. This a game called Valiant Hearts was a big indie darling, even though it's not really indie because it comes out from Ubisoft. But it was a more independent game, a smaller example of a game that was talked about at E3. It came out on Xbox One and PS4. It's been announced that it is coming very, very, very soon to the iOS platform. So Valiant Hearts: The Great War will be hitting in early September. For you to play on your iPad, which will be great. But even better, it's going to be available as a full version, so you can buy it and play the whole game and be done with it, or you can buy it in episodes. So it's an episodic game as well, so you'll be able to buy chapters as you finish them. So that might be a better way for you to jump in and enjoy this great game. If you're not familiar with it, it uses the UbiArt engine, and it's basically a story about World War II. Is it World War II or World War One? I think it's World War II, and it's the story is told to you based around a dog and all the stuff that happens with it. So it's a really cool game. I haven't played it yet, but it's one of the ones that's on my wish list. That whenever it drops in price on the PS4, I want to pick it up. I may just get it for the iPad and enjoy it on that instead. So wanted to make note of that. That'll be coming on September 4th, actually. I just found the date. So if you've been looking forward to that game, your wait is going to be soon over.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, that's going to about do it for the news. What do you say we get into reviews?
That sounds like an excellent idea.
All right, Jared, tell us what game you're going to be reviewing this week, and then review it if you want. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, of course.
Throwing me off. I thought you were going to go. So I'm going to talk about a game called Lionheart.
Did you not want to do one, and you wanted me to just do one, or do you want us both to do one?
I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to have you do one as well.
You're confusing me, man.
I'm confused too. All right, so I'm going to be talking about Lionheart Tactics. Lionheart Tactics is so it's a freemium game, and it's kind of in the vein of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I know a lot of people are like, "Whoa, Final Fantasy Tactics, that's a big game." So this one of the big things that we should note is that it's published by Congregate. For those of you who aren't aware what Congregate is, it is a site on the internet that is primarily Flash-based games. That's all freemium games and all about monetization of those games and that type of thing. So I'm just throwing that out there as kind of a caveat, and it'll probably inform a little bit of the things that I'm about to say. So the game is like Final Fantasy Tactics in that you get various people that you can then recruit to your team. You pay some money and you're able to recruit a guy at random, so you're not able to pick the classes, which is one of the first kind of annoying things, because you get like 20 characters and you get like 5 dancers, and you're like, these dancers are useless, because you don't need that many ever, and so you play through, and then you take turns and turn-based battles where it's a case of where your team goes, then the other team goes. So it's not like any sort of your speed doesn't matter, because I know that a lot of these, they're more interesting because the faster you are, then the more often you get turns. There's none of that here. You get to take your entire team, and then the enemy takes all their moves. The one thing that this allows you to do is allows you to practice kind of those normal strategies to kill everyone, and that you corner people and attack them with 3 or 4 characters and then run away. And you know, it's good. It's fun. There's a whole bunch of different areas to. So there's like this whole world map, and each section or each spot on the world map has a different map, and you can play them multiple times. However, they stop allowing you to play after like 3 times, which is one of the kind of annoying things, because you're sitting there and you're playing and you're like, hey, this is cool. But then you get kind of annoyed because after 3 times you can't play it anymore, which means that if you've already played like the entire first world, the entire first land, like I have, then you end up getting in trouble where if you get new characters, you can't bring them in very well, because you won't be able to level them. You know, your enemy sees that you have a weak ally, and then they just get completely obliterated because they get targeted by all the opposing characters. So it kind of ruins the fun a little bit, and it makes it so then you have to start buying the more expensive characters. Additionally, you have a little castle thing that generates money over time, and you upgrade your castle by freeing more of your land so that they're paying taxes to you, I guess. And as this is happening, it means that every 4 hours you'll log in and you'll have a couple $100, or depending on how far you've played. I think I got up to like 700 or 800, and you're able to get that much money, which you can then go spend on upgrading your guys. If you get multiple guys, you can somehow consume them, which is one of the things that I don't like in it, because basically if you have an extra thief or something, you can consume the thief somehow and get your speed up, or your skill up. And it's like, to me, that part just doesn't make sense, but they tend to use a lot in freemium games. So yeah, that's the thing. And slowly you just play through these different battles. You're liberating the land from some scourge. I don't know. I guess that's kind of a sign that the story was not that interesting. And I really like these types of games. I like strategic RPGs or tactical RPGs, depending on one of my top 10 all-time games is probably one of the early Disgaea games. And so I really enjoy these types of games, and this one, it was really fun at first, but then what ends up happening is you get to the point where you can't really get new characters, because if you get new characters with the cheap ones, then they're not a high enough level and they just get killed. But yet you can't go back and replay those early levels, and you can't beat any of the new levels because they're too hard. And so it kind of gets to the point where they want you to start spending money. So it's a pretty hard paywall. It's just the paywall comes a lot later than you would expect. You can probably get a couple of hours of gaming before you hit a paywall. And then the other interesting thing, well, I say interesting, but perhaps annoying is a better word, is if you want one of their like little premium packages, you can buy crowns. However, it's insanely expensive to actually do anything with these crowns. Like, you're getting them 1 or 2 at a time, and then in order to get a special pack with something in it, it costs like 600 crowns. And if you go and buy the cheapest, I think the cheapest crown package is like $5. Like 5 is the minimum you can spend on it. Right. And so I didn't really like that. And then even when you do, you only have like a small chance of getting a high level guy. You also have a chance of getting like 25 pieces of garbage equipment, which you're like, wait, why did I do all this? Additionally, when your guys get hurt, they take real time to heal, which usually doesn't bother me, because you know, I was able to get a couple of teams going. However, I realize now that by getting a couple of teams going, it means that I didn't concentrate enough experience into a main team, which is probably one of the reasons why I started having trouble. So it feels a little goofy that way. Also, they have all these skills, and you can train them. You just spend some of your money on it. However, the timers, they go up really quickly. So the first couple timers aren't bad. You know, you'll do it in 2 minutes and then 15 minutes or something. But you know, I had one that it wanted, I think, 30 hours, and I was like, wait a minute, that means I can't use my best character for a day and 6 hours. Like,
that's fun gaming.
Yay! That's what I want to do. So anyway, I was a little surprised, and like I said, it comes back to, hey, this game is by Congregate. I probably should have expected it a little. It's funny because I went and played it once and deleted it. As soon as I started having to consume guys to try and raise the stats of my other guys, I got annoyed and deleted it. And then, you know, I just heard enough talk about it that I brought it back.
Right.
And I wish I kind of wouldn't have. So I'm going to give this game a 3 out of 5 because there is still a decent game there. There's a good core mechanic. Just realize that you're probably not going to be able to get through it without spending a decent amount of money and, you know, proceed with caution type thing. So
cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for that review. 3 out of 5 for Lionheart Tactics. I'm going to review a game. I'm going to review a game. Its name is Auction Hunter Storage Collector Wars. And first, let me preface that I'm one of my guilty pleasures is watching Storage Wars. I love it for some strange reason. So I actually saw one of the stars of Storage Wars tweet this out, which made me kind of scratch my head because it's not called Storage Wars. It doesn't look official to me. So I went and checked out this app called Auction Hunter Storage Collector Wars. It's 99 cents. And if you're familiar with the show at all, you could see the first screenshot has representations of the people that are in the show. So you have like Dave Hester, the Yup guy. You have Barry Weiss, the old guy. You have Jared Schultz, but Jared spelled with Jarrod, not Jared. Did you know you're famous, Jared?
I didn't know this.
This guy right here with the goatee, his name with the glasses and bald, his name is Jared Schultz, but Jarrod. Which
how does he spell it the same?
Your last name is spelled exactly the same.
Oh, that's confusing.
Which is why when I go to type in your lower third, I always spell it wrong initially, and then I have to think hard and long about what I'm actually typing in. And then you have this guy, the bald guy, or the blonde guy rather, Daryl Sheets from the show. So it looks like the people from the show, and I'm like, is this officially sanctioned? And you look, and it's like, well, no, because it has the name Auction Hunters or Auction Hunter. There's a show on TV called Auction Hunters with an S, and there's also a show called Storage Wars. So this is nothing other than a company that is trying to get sales based on people searching for Auction Hunters or Storage Wars on iTunes. Anyway, I ponied up the 99 cents and I bought it. And essentially, this is what the game is.
So how is that guy tweeting about it? Was he tweeting about it like, hey, this is something that's completely a knockoff?
Daryl Sheets retweeted something. The developer said, hey, look at this new game about buying storage auctions. And I guess without really looking at it, he just retweeted it. Or maybe he knows about it. I don't know. And that's where I found it. And I'm like, hey, this is something that you're getting... that you're basically getting ripped off on. But anyway, the game revolves around you going to an auction. They tell you how many storage lockers there are, and then you bid on them. And basically, even the auction guy looks like a Dan the Auctioneer guy. It doesn't sound like him. None of the voices are the same, but they have the same kind of attitude. And you basically bid with the chunk of money that you get, and you bid on an auction that looks like a bunch of random collection of junk. So in the screenshot that we're looking at on the screen, if you're not watching the video, I apologize, but there'll be like a guitar and a couch and some signs, and you're like, I should maybe bid $600 on that max because I know what all those items are worth, and I'm going to lose money if there's nothing else good in the auction or in the storage locker. And you basically go and do that, and you're basically bidding against an AI. So if you're immediately bid right away, they try to upbid you. If you're buying all the lockers in a particular auction, they try to bid you up, just kind of like what they do on the show. But there's really no strategy for it, because basically once you get your storage locker, you click on the items and it tells you what you sold each of the items for, and then you either make money or lose money, and that's it. That's it. That's all. And then you get more money. And then once you unlock, or once you get enough money, you can unlock a different auction hall. So there's 6 different auction halls that have more valuable stuff potentially. And there's also more risk. So if you buy a bum locker and you don't get your money back, you're going to have to go back down to the terrible auctions to buy this stuff. But that is all this game is. The voiceover is really annoying. Like the auctioneer is really, really annoying, and he basically goes like, "Hey, okay, who's a bid? $500. Let's go. Here we go. And he does that for the whole time that you're bidding. So it could be 10 seconds, or it could be 2 minutes if you're having a bidding war with people. It is just so bizarre. Anyway. I haven't completely beat this game, mainly because it's something that I laugh about, and I play a couple auctions and then I kind of smile and then I go about it. Being that Storage Wars is a guilty pleasure of mine that I like to watch, this is also a guilty pleasure game where I go in and play it a little bit. It's not Storage Wars, but it is a fun kind of game that I'm kind of enjoying. I'm not enjoying it 5 out of 5 enjoying it, but I am having fun with it enough that I'm actually going to give it a 3 out of 5, just because it's fun. It's a fun game, believe it or not. As crazy as it is, it reminds me a lot of early on in the App Store. There was like Sally's Spa time management games and there was a bunch of duplicate games that were very similar. I think there's probably going to be a rash of copycat games that have the very similar mechanics. It's kind of like the opposite of a hidden object game. It's basically the objects aren't hidden, they're shown to you, and you have to kind of do math in your head and figure out what they're going to be worth. And even better, there's a collector's pane that you can go to, and as you win a locker, if you find new items, they get unlocked in your catalog, and you basically can figure out what all the things are just by memorizing that. Okay, that stove is $220, and that particular guitar, the green one's $250. So if I spend more than $500, maybe I'm not going to get my money back. And that's pretty much the game. It's not really super fun. It's not really super bad. It's just, it is what it is. If you like Auction Wars or Auction Hunter Storage Collector Wars on TV, maybe you'll like this game as well. So anyway, Auction Hunter Storage Collector Wars, 99 cents on the App Store, and I give it a 3 out of 5.
Cool.
You look unconvinced, Jared.
I'm not going to pick this one up.
No, unless you love the show. Like if I have a recorded episode on my PVR, that's the first thing I watch. Just because it's stupid. It's the junk food of television. You can consume it, and there's empty calories, and that's all the show is. So that's why I picked up this game, essentially.
Cool.
All right, well, that's gonna about do it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and subscribing over at vgpodcast.com. Let us know what you think of the show. Email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505-VG-Podcasts. So we will most likely, well, Jared won't be here next week. I'm going to see if we can't maybe do a fill-in show. Maybe I'll put the feelers out and maybe get maybe an old host or someone that's guested before. We'll see what we can do. If I can't find anybody, maybe there will not be a show next week. Just wanted to give you guys ample warning. But hopefully we'll find something to fill in the interim. But yeah, Jared, thanks for joining me yet again, man.
My pleasure as always, and I will be very much enjoying my vacation.
Yeah, you go have some fun. Just like
Yes.
I did a couple weeks back. It was just the recharge I needed. My batteries were running kind of low.
Except for the part where I have to drive 12 hours with a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's not really a vacation to me, Jared. I think your definition of the word is skewed compared to the rest of the rest of the English speaking world. But we can maybe talk about that at a different point, another time, maybe.
Well, that happens.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Touch of Gaming podcast episode number 173. We'll talk to you about a week or two's time, depending on what happens with next week's recording. But thanks for subscribing. Thanks for telling your friends, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Later, everybody.
Bye.